news. The pipeline.
News of Elliot Broon.
Hey, yo.
Yes, it's the Ant-Man and Loganator on Ringside Rumble Radio.
Oh, yes. You can't see us right now, but we're headbanging along to this amazing music that we have as our opener. You're listening to Ringside Rumble Radio. I am the Loganator alongside my good friend, the Ant-Man, Ant Rivera. How are you, my friend?
I was going to make a John Cena "You Can't See Me" reference, but let's leave that out. Shall we? I'm doing fine, man. How you doing today?
I'm good. Had a big, busy 3-day weekend. I took a day off from work. Went to a minor league baseball game over the weekend. Catch Tebow. And in case you wrestling fans don't know who Tim Tebow is, I saw him live, and he got one hit, and that was it.
That's nice. I had I went to a nice hibachi dinner.
Nice.
Hibachi's
great.
Yeah, and I also went to a baby shower. But in between that, and 2 events happened on Saturday.
Yeah, one happened extremely early in the morning.
It
the
did?
other extremely late at night.
So let me tell you a story about Dominion, because I was going to try to catch it early in the morning, it started, 3 a.m. on the East Coast?
Yeah, 3 a.m. Eastern
So
Standard Time.
I fell asleep, and then I woke up around 3 o'clock. I was like, I probably missed the first match, so let me tune in. And then I was like, I'll just catch it in the morning. And then when I woke up, all the results were given. But I did start watching.
Okay.
And
you were going to watch it on the network or streaming it somewhere else?
Streaming it somewhere else. We'll leave it at that for now.
Okay, fair enough.
There's so many channels and apps to buy, and $10 here, $10 there. It's kind of hard to just keep track of them. But after Dominion, I might just have to pony over the $10 and get me some NJPW World, because I saw probably about 3. Okay, so far I've seen 3 matches. And it was the Young Bucks versus Evil and Sonata.
Yes, which I saw as well.
Jericho versus Naito. And it was Kenny Omega versus Okada. I still haven't seen the match with Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club. I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
But I told you, once I saw Young Bucks versus Evil and Sonata, it was better. That one match was better than Backlash.
Just the whole Backlash.
That, and they'll probably be able to keep one-upping me, but that is probably one of the best tag team matches I've seen. It was so good. The false finishes mattered.
Yeah.
And it's not overdoing it with the false finishes. So I really enjoyed seeing that. Young Bucks finally moving up in weight and winning the titles was a nice little touch. And then you go to Jericho versus Naito, and I've never seen Jericho like this before.
It was almost like you combined the Ruthless Aggression era, combined it with the Attitude Era, and then you also combine it with a little bit of WCW Jericho when he used to put his face in the camera and yell, and it was just speechless, I guess you could say right now.
He's got a whole new look. He changes his gimmick every time.
He has one-upped himself every time. Well, now this is his second match in New Japan since being a free agent now.
I think I might have enjoyed this match more than the one with Kenny Omega and Jericho.
Well, yeah, this one was just raw, and he didn't even let him get to the ring. He just started beating him down. There was tables being used. Probably one of my favorite parts is when he grabs the camera and he flips off the whole crowd and everybody, and they're just zooming in on him holding the camcorder. And you hear Don Callis saying, "Hey, that's an expensive piece of equipment. What's he doing with that over there?"
And speaking of Don Callis and Kevin Kelly, those two guys put on one of the best announcing performances I've seen. And I'm not trying to toot their own horn, but there are little intricate things that they would say and do during the match. During the Kenny Omega-Okada match, Don Callis goes that, hey, Okada could have won the match by countout, but he brings Kenny back in the ring. Like, these little intricate things that they would say and do for the matches really helped sell it to an American crowd because, you know, you haven't really gotten that kind of announcing for New Japan. Everything would have been just translated, and sometimes you would get, I guess the Jim Ross would do it on Access. I don't know if he's still doing it.
Yeah.
Mauro Ranallo used to use it on do it on Access. But to hear Don Callis and Kevin Kelly, and I know Kevin Kelly still does Ring of Honor, so.
But just the two of them put together, it's just refreshing seeing two color commentators who actually know what type of moves are being done, what chemistry is being done in the ring, and they tell you the story perfectly. Where I know there's other organizations, you know where I'm going with this, where they're lacking color commentator, almost like it's just, okay, we're going to put random guys out and let's see if they can call a match. If they can't, I'm just going to bark it in their ear and tell them what to say. And if it sounds stupid or nothing sounds great, it's all right. We'll just ignore the situation and just keep going on with the match. And, oh, by the way, we won't tell a story either.
Yeah, the whole point, like you said right there, telling a story. Everything that Kevin Kelly and Don Callis did was telling a story in every match. For an hour and 10 minutes, Okada and Kenny Omega lit up that ring with everything they could, getting tired. And it would not be the same match if the color commentating is not telling the story.
No.
Both of them so tired that they can't even get up. Their punches not even being effective anymore because we're now in a minute and 5 minutes of a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yeah, and we're not hearing the same lame crap that's being said left and right. Like, oh, that's vintage Omega. Oh, that's vintage Omega. Oh, what's he going to do now? Oh, no, not on the top. Oh. Constantly back and forth, and you don't even know what's going on, where the camera angle's going. I've only seen parts of that match. I plan on sitting down and watching it in its entirety. But like you said, just the chemistry with the color commentator, with going an hour long, no stoppage.
People get bored watching wrestling after an hour. And these two guys entertain from beginning to end. And if you listen to it and watch it on TV, it was even better because Kevin Kelly and Don Callis told the story. Just like in 1992 when Ric Flair won the Royal Rumble, Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan were telling a story throughout an entire 60 minutes.
Well, I have to admit to you right now, back in the days when Kevin Kelly was on WWE, I actually preferred him sometimes over the other guys like
Michael Cole,
Jerry the King. I mean, Jim Ross is one of a kind. But when you had Jim Ross and Kevin Kelly together, basically, usually they were on Heat once in a while for the kickoff show, or you'd have a Sunday night Heat going into Monday Night Raw the next night. Those two could tell the story, and it was just pure gold.
And let's not forget where Don Callis has come from.
He's been all over the place.
He was the Jackal.
He was in the ring. I think he was versus Steve Blackman. I think it was versus the Headbangers. And you see the Jackal come out and cut this promo while they're wrestling. And he just keeps going on and on and on. Check it out. I know it's on YouTube. I actually just watched it recently. And he's going on talking about how it was basically him introducing the oddities. And the way he just kept saying how people are making him sick and just going on and on about the whole story. It just made you want to keep listening to the guy, even though we knew what was going to happen, what the outcome was. I just enjoyed going back to it and rewatching that whole promo.
And you mentioned to me earlier, because I don't have Pop, so I can't see Impact. Is he a part owner of Impact, or what's his deal with Impact right now?
He's one of the executives right now. They put him in charge He's also the ring announcer on Impact. Basically, you could get rid of Josh Matthews. I don't think he is really...
I was never a fan of his.
No.
Too much overselling and not being himself.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. That's what it comes down to, is overselling. Just watching Pop and on Impact on Pop, that's what kills it for me. I'll be watching the match and trying to get into it, and then you have Josh Matthews, oh my God, and then he did this, and oh! And it's just like, really, guy? Come on. It doesn't need to be that pushed and that forced upon, and that type of announcing has kind of gone by the wayside, and I mean, I guess they think it works because they keep using him, but I think eventually we're going to see him kind of move past the stage and be kind of cut out, and we may see somebody else fill in that role. I hope. Hopefully it'll be soon. Just having Don Callis on there, it gives Pop just pop, pretty much.
Just gives Pop. But let's go back to Dominion here, and Kenny Omega winning the IWGP title for the first time in the fourth match between him and Okada, and Chris Jericho being the first person to win the Intercontinental Championship in both the WWE and the IWGP. That is an amazing feat for both these Canadians. From I think they're both from
the Winnipeg
area.
Yep.
So nice to see both of them. And what you saw this weekend is a big stepping stone of what is to come, because you now have the G1 special in the Cow Palace, of all places, where we're going to see Kenny Omega against Cody Rhodes, or Cody, as he just likes to be called, the American Nightmare. And that's going to be another big event, then leads into All In. And by the time All In comes through, we might have something big. The landscape of wrestling
It's shifting.
is
as we
shifting.
speak.
It is.
I mean, just the whole Jericho feud coming over to New Japan, now that he's a free agent, you have just opened the floodgates for new fans to get involved with New Japan Wrestling. I would say more people are starting to understand that New Japan is not going away anytime soon. They put on good shows. They've been in California once already. It seems that they're using Jericho as their unofficial ambassador, I guess you could say, to the people in the U.S. who are kind of keen on that one specific federation entertainment, I guess you could say, and people are tired of it. I mean,
well, they're not. People are not just stuck on WWE. It's what's available. The WWE is available, whether it's through the network or on TV. We don't really get that with a Ring of Honor or New Japan. It's starting.
I mean,
they're building.
You have the Ring of Honor. They have the kind of the platform like WWE Network. I mean, it's not as big as WWE Network.
Right.
You have the network for New Japan, but if you want to watch New Japan live, are you really going to be going to bed, say, 8 o'clock on a Friday night so you can get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it? I mean, some people, yes, they do it. I'm sure there's fans out there. But if you're living a life in the States, chances are you're not going to be staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning to start watching a pay-per-view event.
And also, the casualist of wrestling fans, they're not going to pay $30 for all of these networks.
No.
If anything, they're going to buy the WWE Network because it's what they know. And it has the biggest library, whether it's WWF, WCW, World Class Championship Wrestling, Mid-Atlantic, NWA. It has everything, AWA. It has all of that big part of a library that you can just go in and view whenever you want. Yeah,
but also this now with Jericho going over there. I mean, Jericho's been in New Japan before, previous to when he was in WCW. Now he's going back. I mean, he's a lot more seasoned than he was back then. He's a former Intercontinental champion. He's a former WWF champion, the first unified champion. So seeing him going over there, it creates a lot of buzz for, like you said, the casual WWE fan who only knows the one product. Now people are scratching their heads and going to be like, what is this New Japan? Why all of a sudden Jericho is going over to Japan and Tokyo to go wrestle all these guys that I've never even heard of? I'm interested now. Let me see what this New Japan is all about. When they